through the city like Brennan Schaub. I'm on a mission to get it all. Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. If you ain't thick, please don't get involved.
And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
Heyo! Monday morning, welcome, October 23rd, kids. Almost time for Halloween. Almost time for Halloween. It is upon us. I got the pumpkins out. Went to the pumpkin patch yesterday. That thing was way too busy. I regret going on a Sunday, but nonetheless, we got the pumpkins done. It's the third pumpkin patch of the year already. We got one more to go. We got one more freaking pumpkin patch to go. Kids love them. Kids love them. Posted a picture on my Instagram story, not the wall chin. This goat was dead. They said it was sleeping, but I didn't see much movement. And when we were there for about an hour, and then when I was leaving, he still was sleeping, quote unquote. So I just told my kid, yeah, he's taking a long, hard nap, son. There he is.
Oh, there.
Yeah. I said, but I'm told this goat is sleeping. Definitely not dead. That goat was dead. But apparently that's what they do. When it gets hot out, they like to snooze. I don't trust goats, man. They give off an evil vibe. Straight off the jetway from Austin, Texas, where I was doing a little show called Fight Campaign with Mr. Joe Rogan, Eddie Bravo, and Brian Callen for the big UFC pay-per-view, UFC 294. In my head, I almost put hashtag UFC 294. That's cool. Yeah, man, flew in on Friday, out directly after the fight. That has to be the fastest main card of all time. Is it the fastest of all time? I think it was 24 minutes long. I'm serious. 24? Well, look at it. 3, 5, 3, 2, 1. So that's, let's just do easy math there. That's 3, 6, 11. In fight time, that's 14 minutes. And they add in the walkouts. They tried to put in some fillers. Them boys had to do work. Anik, DC, and the boys had to do some work filling that time because everything was so fast. Then you had the Ankalaev, Johnny Walker. That one probably took the most time just because there's all the chaos. But let's get right into the fight card. Oh, boy. Interesting card, right? A lot of things happen that we would not have assumed. That's what makes this sport great. We'll kick it off with Khamzat and Kamaru. I want to dive in most on that in the main event, and then we'll get to Johnny Walker and Magomed. But with Khamzat and Kamaru, there's two ways to look at this depending what kind of fight fan you are. Is it that Khamzat's overhyped? Or is it that Kamaru's definitely not washed up and he's pretty damn good? So I think your takeaways can be both. I think maybe Khamzat is a little overhyped, and this comes from a guy who's probably responsible for a tad bit of that hype. I absolutely think Khamzat's the next big star. But I think we need to pump the brakes just a tad. When you look at his resume compared to other guys, especially Dana said he is going to get the middleweight title shot next. We'll get to that. But when you look at his kind of resume and especially his last few fights that got him to this title shot, probably not the most accomplished resume in order to get a title shot. You know, there's definitely been guys who have been pushed faster that didn't deserve it. But when you look at Khamzat, I think the hype kind of outshines the actual work he's doing inside that octagon. And listen, I'm one of them. I've been saying from the Chechnya rooftop that this guy is your next champion. But that being said, after the fight on Saturday, I went, let's slow down, Brendan. Let's just slow it down a sec, because he beat Kamaru Usman in a majority decision. You could give Usman one of those rounds, but still, he fought a welterweight, and he's going to be competing for a middleweight title shot there. So he beat a welterweight, okay. Then he fought Kevin Holland, okay. Still, that was at a catch weight. That's still not top middleweight, okay. But then before that, he beat a legit contender at middleweight, right? No, he beat Gilbert Burns, and it was a decision, and it was a fight of the night, and that thing was damn close. He gave him all he can handle. Okay, man. Okay. But then before that, he beat an actual big-time middleweight contender. No. He beat Leach. Yeah. And then before that, he beat Gerald Meerschaert. So Meerschaert's the big win there in the middleweight division. Yeah, he's fighting for a title. You're like, what? So I just think the hype has kind of taken over, and we've turned him into this Chechnyan boogeyman, which he is, but he's also human. And again, I'm the biggest Khamzat fan. I think he can be a champion at 70. I think he can be a champion at 85. And depending how he does at 85 with those bigger boys, I think he could eventually, as he matures, could go to 205. I know it's a big ask there, but I think he could have some success there. But we got to pump the brakes just a tad. And that being said, if he does get the title shot, which it sounds like he's going to, which Du Plessis is like, what the hell is going on here? And we'll get to why Du Plessis should have the next shot. But when Dana says something, I think that's what's going to happen, especially Du Plessis turning down the title shot against Izzy. That's going against him. So Khamzat's probably the next in line to fight Strickland for the middleweight title. As of today, on October 23rd, and going just based off straight up the data that we have, the video footage of fight footage that we have of Khamzat, and going based off the fight footage we have of Strickland, I would put all my money on Strickland to beat Khamzat in 5 rounds. Because if you look at Khamzat right now, he's not, there's nothing in his past 5 fights that would lead you to assume he's going to be able to steamroll Strickland. That first round, maybe this begin the second round, could be a bit of a challenge for Strickland. But if you don't get that done in that first round, a round and a half, Strickland is the worst matchup for Khamzat now. You look at his cardio, you look at who Strickland has beat before, the way he's beat him, the way he melts dudes down. I think his grappling's underrated, and just the tenacity. And then going based off the Khamzat versus Usman fight, Khamzat blew his gas tank in that first round. Now, the caveat there, well, he broke his hand. Okay, let's say that. That still doesn't have to do much with cardio. So that first round, 10-8. 10-8 all day. That second round, Usman, some think he won it. Some of the judges gave it to him. He's hanging around. He's having success on the feet. That third round, again, more success on the feet, then gets taken down and obviously lost the third round. But still, if that's Strickland, this dude gets better as the fight goes on. And once he has success, he's come. That Strickland, that white boy tidal wave that this dude brings, that Philly shell, it is a issue for Khamzat, man. So I think the odds are out already, and they have Khamzat as a pretty sizable favor. Boy, I would put a significant amount of money on Strickland in that fight. Again, stylistically, it is so now, see, remember we looked at this last week. Khamzat was a massive favorite. I think he was minus 400, minus 3 something. Now he's a minus 135. Jump on it now. That line's going to change. That line's going to change. Strickland, from going based off the fight footage that we've seen, you look at the way there it goes. So he was minus 300, plus 250. That's yeah. How long ago was that though, Chin?
That's from
that's October 21st. So
2
that
days
was
ago.
the night of the fight.
Yeah.
And look how that line's already switching. I mean, there's nothing from Khamzat's past in that octagon. There's no evidence there that would go, yeah, he's going to steamroll Strickland. There's nothing there. You look at the way Strickland's dismantled guys, the way he applies the pressure, he melts dudes. If Khamzat doesn't get done in that first round, it is a nightmare for him. Strickland, that second, especially the third, fourth, and fifth, I mean, if this was a 5-round fight, you can't tell me Khamzat wins that fight against Usman. The way it was looking and the success he was having on the feet, you're like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. That first round, I go, this is a nightmare. This thing's over. But as a second round, Usman having some success, shutting down the takedowns. and Usman's, obviously a tiny middleweight. Strickland's no punk, man. He's beat big boys. He's melted some of those dudes over there in Dagestan, over there in Russia, over there in Chechnya. He melts those dudes. So, again, there's no evidence that's going to show you that Khamzat should beat Strickland besides your own bias. That's me. I'm biased as hell. But I'm able to put this to the side and go, ooh, that's not an easy fight for Khamzat at all. There's also, and one of the reasons we're saying this is, I don't know who else is saying this, but one of the reasons is, in what world do we think Khamzat deserves a title shot? If you look at Du Plessis is like, what, are you kidding me? Look at Du Plessis' last 5. Let's go through Khamzat's last 5. Let's go through Du Plessis. Now, I'm not going bad on Khamzat. This is very black and white. Take my bias out of it. I'm a huge Khamzat fan. But if you're just looking at, if this is the NFL, this is the NBA, you're just looking at resumes. So this is Du Plessis' last, let's go 4. His last 4. So first of all, he's undefeated in the UFC, but we'll take out the first 2. But the first 2 were KOs, so that's cool. And then he fights Brad Tavares. Tough night in the office. He beats him pretty decisively, unanimous decision. Okay. Then he fights Darren Till. Darren Till's no walk in the park. That's a fight there. He submits him with a face crank, and that's fight of the night. Then he fights Derek Brunson, who's been a perennial top 10 guy, always a tough problem to solve. He TKOs him. TKOs in the second round. Okay, in the corner stoppage. And then they give him Robert Whittaker, who is the toughest man in the division, not named Izzy. Couldn't be a worse matchup for Du Plessis, and he starches him in the second round. Savagely TKOs him. And then they offer him the fight against Izzy, and for whatever reason, his shoulder, I don't know, he turns it down, and now they're like, nope, here's Khamzat. And I would love, if you're Khamzat's manager, I'd love to hear the argument. Khamzat deserving a title shot over Du Plessis. What's the best argument? Go. But he beat Kamaru Usman. He wasn't impressive. He beat a welterweight on a 10-day notice. Yeah, but he broke his hand. Okay, well, why couldn't he finish him in the first round? He beat Kevin Holland. That was on like a 3-hour notice. Kevin Holland was supposed to fight somebody else, dude. He's supposed to fight just an elite striker and Rodriguez, and you switched it with 3 hours before, and I guess he submitted him. It's still not even a middleweight. But he beat Gilbert Burns. That was back and forth, dude. That was back and forth, and that guy's also a welterweight, for God's sakes. Okay, but his best win's over Leach. Okay. And remember, he fought really quick, back to back when they were over there during the lockdowns. Okay. How is that more impressive than what Du Plessis has been doing? I don't get it. I get the hype. I get the they signed a deal with Saudi Arabia, and there's all that. The other thing that's working against Khamzat is the rumor is because of, for whatever reason, this dude can't travel to the States. Okay, so again, if you're Khamzat's management and you're meeting with Dana right now, you're like, yep, you said Khamzat's next, right? Yep. Yeah, we want to do it in Vegas. We want to do it in Vegas in March. Right. Khamzat can't go to Vegas. Excuse me? He can't, because of visa issues, for whatever's going on there, we have to do it back in Abu Dhabi, or we got to do it in Saudi Arabia. You guys have one in March, right? It's supposed to be a big fight night. You could do Strickland and Khamzat in Saudi Arabia on that big fight night. We'd love that. Right. But Strickland's the champ and has beat a lot of middleweights and just beat Izzy decisively. And he has to come to you because you have visa issues? Yep. And UFC's going to go, okay. Is that not crazy? Isn't that nuts? And Strickland was on a podcast with Don Fry, and he's like, I'll fight him. Doesn't deserve it. By no means does he deserve it after that performance. He's like, I'll fight him for 5 rounds. But I would ask Strickland, okay, will you go to the Middle East and do it, though? And if I'm the champ, I'm absolutely not. Then he's not getting the title shot. If Khamzat can only fight in Saudi Arabia or in the Middle East or Dubai, okay, then you can't be champ, dude. You can't. Dim the rules. Because the champ is from California. The champ just beat Izzy in his own backyard. Arguably the greatest middleweight of all time. Not only did he beat him, he beat the brakes off of him. And now you have a few wins over welterweights. You probably shouldn't be in a title picture. And not only should you not have this title shot, but now the actual champion, Sean Strickland, has to come to your backyard? What world are we living in? What are we doing? Doesn't make sense. And Du Plessis shot himself in the foot because he turned down the fight with Izzy. So Dana has to discipline him. But that's not right. It's also not right to give a guy who has 2 wins over inflated middleweights. It doesn't make any sense. None of it makes sense. And this is coming from a guy who, a huge Khamzat fan, massive Khamzat fan. I think he's the future of the UFC. That being said, I don't think he beats Strickland anytime soon. From what we've seen, I don't think he beats Strickland. I don't see it. I don't see it. And for Kamaru Usman, you got to take your hat off to him. 10-day notice, middleweight division, fighting the Chechen boogeyman, and he put on a show, man. One judge had it 28-28. I don't agree with that. 29-27 is fair. The 10-8 in the first round, sure. But for Kamaru, everyone's saying he's washed up, only has 1 fight left, his knees are bad. What you're doing is you're discrediting how good Leon Edwards is. So if Kamaru Usman, this is exactly what he should do. He needs to chill, wait, whatever injuries he has, chill, wait. He's been so active, so just chill. You got to hope that Colby Covington beats Leon Edwards. Because if Leon Edwards beats Colby Covington, forget about welterweight. You're never going back to welterweight. You're not going to beat Leon Edwards. That's your Achilles heel. It's never happening. We've seen it twice. Not happening. Okay, cool. Now, if Colby Covington beats Leon Edwards, we go in Sizzler because you have 2 wins over him. Now you can go back to welterweight and go, hold up. You don't have to fight a contender, nothing. You go, hey, I had a good performance over here. Last time I was in the division, I lost to the champ. He just lost. Your champion, I have 2 wins over. Now you don't have to wait. You get a straight, boom, straight elevator to the title shot, Colby Covington. So no one should be a bigger Colby Covington fan than Kamaru Usman right now. If you want to go back to welterweight, which you should, you need Colby Covington to beat Leon Edwards. Otherwise, there's nothing for you there. So if you're Kamaru, you're sitting down and you're like, all right, well, let's say Colby loses. I guess you stay at middleweight? I guess. I'd be in, again, Khamzat's not, there's some big boys at middleweight. Du Plessis is massive. Paulo Costa, massive. Vettori, massive. Those guys are big, big boys. So even though he had a good showing against Kamaru Usman had a good showing against Khamzat. Khamzat's not the biggest middleweight, so I'd be interested to see how he handles a guy like Paulo Costa, who's the massive dude. How he deals with those big, Jared Cannonier, massive. So I don't know if he has a future at middleweight, but he's going to have no choice if Leon Edwards beats Colby Covington. So Usman should be Colby Covington's biggest fan right now. Biggest fan. It's interesting, though. I don't see how, in what world, they give Khamzat a title shot, even though they told him he's going to get it. It doesn't make any sense in any facet. We got to pump the brakes on him a little bit. And that's all good. He's going to get there, but it's just not there right now. Not there right now. He's not beating Strickland right now. Not happening. Nightmare for him. Then the main event, Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. In hindsight, I think people are going, oh, Volkanovski took the risk, didn't work out. I bet he regrets it. Because now, as soon as that fight ended, as soon as he got knocked out with a head kick, I went, well, we're never seeing that again. That was the risk. For all you right now who are, Sunday quarterbacks, Monday morning experts going, Alexander should have never done that, man. Yeah, that's why you're not one of the greatest to ever do it. Alexander Volkanovski takes these risks in order to be Alexander Volkanovski. Of course you wouldn't do it. Of course you're sitting in your studio on Monday going, oh, he took this wasn't enough. He messed up. We lost that. I know, but to achieve greatness, you got to take some shots. Okay, so he shot for the moon, landed on the stars. He's still a world champion. He's still fighting Topuria. He's still fighting Ilia Topuria. He's out. I think they gave him a 60-day suspension, so he can still fight in January. Should he, is the question. Should he jump back into camp shortly here after getting KO'd like that with a head kick? Probably not. Should he learn from Izzy, who's been so active and he caught up with him and he had suffered these losses? I think a big part of his demise with these losses is he was too active and just got worn out. So you think that camp, his head coach Eugene would go, take a page out of Izzy's book. He should have chilled a little more. But then Volkanovski comes out in the press conference, goes, when I don't have a camp going on, what do you say? He gets depressed?
He says he needs something like that kind of structure. Otherwise, he just goes to like a different place. Like, yeah, he needs stuff like that. I don't know if he said he's depressed, but it's a mental thing for sure. Like, yeah.
He needs to chase that dragon. And this is
who knows if he's drinking and doing that stuff when he's, not training for someone. Mm-hmm. I don't know. He was very very short with it.
Yeah, I know he's emotional too, so I don't know what's going on there. And he has a wife and kids, especially.
He says he has a happy family, everything. It's just like he needs that.
He's a beast dad. Yeah,
he needs that motivation to do. Yeah,
and the level of like discipline, and when you're chasing that, and you have this goal, that you want to accomplish. I get that, and this is the problem so many fighters have. And we love Volkanovski because he's so authentic and so honest. But that same ambition, that same drive, remember, that never really leaves a lot of guys, especially at his level. The issue is when you're 0-3. He's not. He's going to dominate for a long time. But the issue is when you're at the tail end of your career, how many of us sit down and go, God, can you believe Tony Ferguson's still doing it? Can you believe BJ Penn's still doing it? Can you believe insert old legend who keeps doing it? Why doesn't he just leave? This is why. All of them are like that. All of them. You're like, I don't get it. Why can't these guys just move on? Because they're wired like this. Mm-hmm. Unless I was fortunate enough to take all this energy and all this crazy energy and discipline and ambition I have and channel into something else. Thank God. But some of these guys don't. So when you question, go, I can't believe this guy's still fighting. What else you want him to do, man? What else you want him to do? It's no different. Obviously it's different because you're talking about, life and death. But those special forces guys, those tip of the spear guys, when they have this special set of skills and they get done and they're with their boys and they're, they have these ambitions and they're these crazy missions like that, those high stakes and fighting those high stakes. When all that leaves, you're just like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to go sit at a desk and insert whatever product and have a boss? What? Those guys aren't wired for that. They're just not. They're not. People are like, I don't get it, man. What don't you get? Yeah, because you have never had those same aspirations. Those guys, they can't fit in with everybody else. They can't. They're wired different. So for Volkanovski, I get it. But he's also pretty active. It's not like he's taking a year off or there's not contenders. Now, at his division, if he beats Ilia, there's not much. This is where it's going to get dicey. There's not a lot going on for him. He's the greatest featherweight to ever do it. So once he beats Ilia, which, again, is not the easiest fight. That's why I don't agree with fighting in January after getting head kick KO'd.
That's the problem, yeah.
No, just do it in March. I know that's still a quick turnaround. Just chill, dude. We got to figure out how to occupy your mind and your body so you're not just fighting nonstop, dude. That can't be the way to do it. Can't. Take a page from your boy Izzy. Talk to Izzy about it. I'm sure he does. His head coach Eugene should be like, dude, we got to slow. All you boys are crazy. Not only are they crazy, but they're the best in the world. You got to slow down. So for him, obviously, Ilia's next, and I don't think it should be in January, but I'm sure he's going to do it in January. That's not the easiest fight by any means, but he's the best featherweight to ever do it. He should be a big favorite for a reason, so kudos to him. After that, I don't know what they're going to do. For Islam, his two choices are Gaethje or Charles Oliveira. That's his two choices. Nothing knocked your hair back. No one's foaming at the wiener to watch those fights. And that's not a knock on Gaethje. I want Gaethje, take my money. First team all violence. BMF belt. Take my money. When he fights, take my money. But unfortunately for Makhachev, he's been so dominant, you're not like, oh, I have to see what's next. Volkanovski was this interesting thing, right? And that first fight was so close. I'm all about that. Charles Oliveira, I'm like, okay, he's going to mollywop him. Gaethje, I'm like, well, he's had 2 title shots before. We saw he did against Khabib. Probably goes down the similar way. If I'm Dana, if I'm the UFC brass, I give it to Gaethje. Even though Charles Oliveira has a win over him, what he did Dustin Poirier, winning by head kick KO. Makhachev just won by head kick KO. Maybe he can land something. He can get in that phone booth, cock fight, heavy on the cock. So I guess Gaethje, that'd be my preference there. If it's Charles Oliveira, okay. But I don't think either one beats him at all.
What about what he said? He's like, he wants to go up and fight the winner of Colby and Leon.
He doesn't have enough title defenses at lightweight in order to demand a shot at welterweight. He has to defend that belt. He should beat Gaethje and then beat Charles Oliveira if that's what they want to do, and do that. Now, Gamrot was the next man in line.
Yeah,
he was there. He was the backup fighter. Again, I would, if you're Gamrot's team, and I'm a huge fan of Gamrot, savage. But if you're Gamrot's team, okay, click on him, Chin. Go over his record.
Gamrot?
Yeah, Gamrot. Tell me why he deserves a title shot. Let's go over his last fights. In what world do you think this? And he is so damn good. But don't forget, he lost to Dariush not too long ago. And his 2 wins, Jalen Turner was a split decision. And then Fiziev with the knee injury.
Yeah.
And he specializes in heavy grappling. Makhachev versus Gamrot. Now I love grappling, so I'm into it. But if you're the UFC, tough fight to sell.
Yeah. As far as selling, yeah, for sure.
Also, his resume.
Yeah.
He's won 2 out of his last 3. Before that, his toughest fight, he lost to Dariush. Okay. It's a tough sell, man. So for Makhachev, he needs to defend the belt, I would say, at least 2 more times and really dominate, and then we can go up to what you got to clean out the division, and then you can go up like Izzy did. He had to do rematches in order to get to 205, and there was a huge ask against Jan. So for Islam, he's not there yet where he can demand a 170 fight. I would love it, but it makes no sense. We got to have some structure here. It can't be all this WWE madness, this guy, jumping weight classes. We don't want that. He needs to dominate that division and then jump up. And Leon Edwards needs to beat Colby Covington, which is a big if. Yeah, I would say if Leon Edwards takes out Colby and then takes out Muhammad, then Islam takes out Charles, takes out Gaethje, then you do it. We're a year away. Those 2 fights could happen for each guy in a year. 2025, we can talk about this. Right now, no way. Not happening. Not happening. Because there's still a guy in Schaub, you got to remember, is a bit of a monster there at welterweight. I'll be interested to see what he does. You got Ian Machado Gary there. You got JDM there. You had some fun up-and-comers, Sean Brady, even though he had the hiccup against Bilal. You got some fun stuff at welterweight. Lightweight, a little different animal. Not a whole lot going on there. Not a whole lot at all. So,
yeah.
And then the real shame was the Magomed Ankalaev. The Ankalaev, yeah. Magomed Ankalaev, Johnny Walker fight. Now, it was labeled a no contest, which no contest, illegal knee. Shouldn't a legal knee be a DQ where I come from?
Yes. Yeah.
Because that fight would have gone on if there was an illegal knee thrown. No matter if it was intentional or not, you still threw an illegal knee. That should be a DQ. That should be a win for Johnny Walker. Why was the fight compromised? because Magomed Ankalaev decided to throw an illegal knee to a down opponent. A no contest means no one won, no one lost. It doesn't move the division in any direction. Neither guy can move on. We got to do it again. If they were more strict on eye pokes, groin strikes, fence grabs, illegal knees, if there was zero tolerance where if you throw an eye poke, if you hit somebody in the nuts, if you throw an illegal knee, if you do the fence grab or grab a point, no matter what, and if the fight can't go on because of an eye poke, a groin strike, or an illegal knee, you lose the fight, you're going to get way less of this. Right now, these guys are getting away with this because what do? You poke somebody in the eye, they go, don't do that again. The guy has one fucking eye now, dude. You kick him in the nuts, you give him 5 minutes and come back out. Now, if you take a point, I guarantee you we see less of this. But we're so loosey-goosey with it. And that the fighter is compromised. And now this fighter, Johnny Walker, this had title implications. Because you have the title fight in November with Alex Pereira. You have that fight going on. If Johnny Walker gets a home run, walk-off flying knee, he's probably going to get catapulted up to a title shot. Now we got to redo this because you dumbasses labeled a no contest. And that doctor asked Johnny Walker, where you at? He said the desert. I'll take that, dude. That's pretty solid. Were you expecting the exact fucking location like it's Google Maps, dumbass? That's pretty solid for a guy who doesn't speak English. You have a Middle Eastern doctor asking a guy who's fluent in Portuguese, his second language is English, second language being very generous here, and go, where are you? The desert. Okay, it works for me, dumbass. And now we get a no contest. So they're just going to rebook it. They're going to stack that November-December card. That's what's going to happen, which, okay, I'll take it. Ankalaev, this poor guy, his entire life is just put on hold. Now, part of it's his fault. The draw's not his fault. The draw against Jan's not his fault. The illegal knee is his fault. Yeah. The only reason why we don't have a decisive victory here, or victor, is because he decided to throw an illegal knee. That should be a DQ. No questions asked. This is clear as day. You threw an illegal knee. I didn't mean to. Doesn't matter. I poked him in the eye, he has one eye. Doesn't matter. I hit him in the nuts. Didn't mean to. Doesn't matter. But when they go, oh, it's just a warning. That's the issue. These guys at this elite level know they can get away with it because you allow it, you morons. How this is no contest is insane, dude. Insane. And Johnny Walker should be upset. They can't push the ref and do all that stuff.
You got lucky because usually...
Oh, that is frowned upon.
Usually get kicked
only in the UFC, dude.
Yep.
Only in the UFC. Only in the UFC can you push the ref and act that way and no repercussions. We go, I get it.
Unless Dana doesn't like you. Remember?
Well, then you're banned for life.
Yeah.
Then you're banned for life. Yep. That guy's sitting on his couch right now like, what the hell? You're not Johnny Walker, sir. Yeah, those I don't get.
I don't know if it's a commission. I think it's like a commission thing because if you're not able to continue from like a illegal knee like Aljamain, right, with Petr Yan, if you can't continue, then usually you get the win. So I guess it just depends on the commission. I don't know how it is over there.
It's also how I think the fight has to be certain amount past time to elect.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah,
that's the biggest one. But even if it's one
it
second,
be done,
3 seconds, it should be. Nope, you threw an illegal knee, you're out. Disqualified.
Totally with you on that. All the points should be taken away every single time something happens. Yeah.
Makhachev looked amazing. Called out Kai Kara France. I would like to see it. He's a little fucking savage, dude.
Yeah.
Ziad Nurmagomedov looked insane. Magomedov, the Pirate over Bruno Silva. Fun to watch. As Dana said, how can he be from Dagestan with no wrestling? I'm a fan, though. A redhead? Dagestan redhead? I don't trust redheads, but You know, he has a lot of anger being a redhead. That guy gives problems on the feet. He's only 29. Suppose he has 1 million fights. There's like 70 fights. How do you have 0 wrestling? That's what's insane.
If you're from Russia, yeah.
How do you have, I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah. I'm a fan, though. We'll see what happens with him. It's all about matchups for him early on.
Yeah, he has just a super cool look, man. There's just something.
Because he has one eye?
Yeah, it looks badass, though.
That I've been telling Nick Davis, let me take out your eye, dude. They look exactly the same.
They look so much alike.
You want to get a lot sexier? You want to get some chicks, bro? Let me take out your eye.
Dude.
Look at that, dude.
Crazy.
And his nickname's the Pirate?
Yeah, which is awesome.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm a fan.
That's so Nick Davis, without a doubt.
It's Nick Davis, yeah. But Nick has both eyes. That's the problem. All right, what do you
That's
got,
the
Chin?
problem. All right, real quick. Ads.
We got some ads, dude?
Got some ads.
All right, let's take a little break here, and then we'll get back to the fisticuffs chat. Cold turkey may be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. We're not talking about some weird mind voodoo from some Instagram guru from your crazy neighbor. No. We're talking about our sponsor. We're talking about Fume, and they look at the problem in a different way. Not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of a crazy, uncomfortable change where you get cold sweats, why not just remove the bad from your habit? That's right. I'm talking about Fume. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. So it's all the same stuff without the bad stuff. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. Instead of harmful chemicals, Fume likes to replace that with delicious flavors. You get it. Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy with no repercussions, making replacing your bad habits super easy. Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing and anxiety while you're breaking that bad habit. The taste is fantastic. They have all sorts of delicious flavors, so you're not going to miss that old habit. All right? Stopping is something we all put off because it's hard. But if it was easy, everyone would do it. But switching to Fume is super easy. It's enjoyable and even fun. Fume has served over 150,000 customers, has thousands of success stories. There's no reason that can't be you. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructible bad habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to TryFume, that's TRYFUM.com. Use the code SCHAUB, SCHAB, to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. TryFume.com. Use the code SCHAUB. Save an additional 10% off your order today. Fume. Oh, yeah. Let's do it, Chin. Listen, man, when I started podcasting, an online store was the furthest thing from my mind. I was shelling out merch myself, selling it on my own website. Me and my brother were packaging that thing. So if you got a shirt, a Fighting Kid shirt from me back in the day, that was folded with these little fat fingers. And then I decided to step my game up with Shopify. It's so easy, all right? It's so freaking easy. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. With your startup, you've been doing it for a hot second, Shopify got you covered. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage, Shopify is there to help you grow. All right? Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, up to 36% better compared to the other leading commerce platforms. All right, sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify. We got you covered, man. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., and Shopify's global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, Brooklyn, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Wow, all right. Because business that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Schaub. That's all lowercase, SCHAUB, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Schaub, all lowercase, to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Schaub, all lowercase. Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. All righty. So Paulo Costa was at the event, and he got attacked by some dude that jumped the gate. But
not just any dude. If you're familiar with this Chechen savage, he's also the same dude that pulled a gun on a guy during a fight interview. This is a wild boy.
You know something we don't. Wow.
Yeah, if you know this guy, he is a wild boy.
But Costa got a shot in at least. Bam. And security was there like right away.
Costa dressed like a real estate agent. Whoop your ass, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, do your homework on this Chechnyan that threw that fist. He's a wild boy. Pulled a gun on a guy doing a fight interview.
Well, didn't know
Wild
that. That's
boy.
kind of crazy.
Look into him.
All right, this is another crazy story. So apparently 3 people during the event, that's that card, they all had staph infections and they hid it from the commission. Mm-hmm. This girl's staph infection story is so like nasty. I'll just play it from here. It's
let
from
me hear it.
post-fight. This is her translator.
Translator's like,
hold on one sec.
Translator's like, what? Oh, it's disgusting.
That appeared, and I think now
She's all
because everything is completely bloodied up. And so before I had to make the weight, I passed out in the tub. They brought me back to life. I was back conscious.
Basically, she had stuff on her butt, and an abscess was on her butt that popped during the fight, and it got all bloody.
That's not healthy.
And it's like, so 3 people during that event had staph. So I saw a lot of commenters saying like, damn, if they're on the ground and everything else, the other fighters that come through, they get scratched and they have to touch the ground.
Sure.
Like they're
staff's everywhere, first of all.
Yeah.
That staff's, just to be clear for these people, like, I can't believe they allow them to fight. Now, granted, their cases are in extreme condition. Staff's all over that mat no matter what.
Oh, no matter what?
Every fight.
Oh, okay.
No matter what, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, at least
Staff's on every gym mat.
Yeah.
Staff's around at all times. Those advanced stages and how bad that is, it's going to make it worse, but staff is around all the time.
didn't know that. Well,
I don't know if she had it hanging out of her anus.
and it blew up.
Of
Yeah,
course
it's
it
nasty to hear that. I thought this was super cool. Alex Volkanovski just posted this like, I think, an hour, 2 hours ago.
He's way smaller.
Yeah, from Islam. Just him and Islam. I guess they're still there hanging out. And then he just says, all respect to Islam and his team.
How can you not love Volkanovski, man?
Yeah. Actually, they both had they both said really cool things. And
Yeah.
they were dope.
Have you heard, a friend send this to me, with Khamzat? So in English, he was like, we all got to get along, let's stop the killing. But then what he said in his native
Language,
tongue was completely different.
Well, he said something like, if he was allowed to, he would go to war right now with them.
Yeah,
So,
my Muslim brothers, and it's a little different.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I never expected to see that side of these guys. So it was really cool to see that side
Of
these
Islam
guys.
and Alex?
No. Khamzat, even Khamzat was in an interview with Caroline Pierce, and then he couldn't keep talking.
Why?
He had to leave because he was talking about the children.
Oh, it's horrible.
So I was like,
I'm with him.
Yeah.
I love both those guys, both class acts.
Yeah. This is pretty cool for that BKFC 56 event. Mike Perry versus Eddie Alvarez.
Dude,
There's
this
a lot
is a
of
great
recognizable
fight.
people here.
Dude, my boy Todd Duffy,
Yep.
Ben Rothwell, watch out for his right hand against the cage. Take
Yep.
it from me.
Beck Rawlings is
Beck
back.
Rawlings, one of our favorites.
And then,
And, it falls
Yeah,
off
hey.
after that. But still, you
That's
got
pretty-
Mike Perry versus the Underground King and Eddie Alvarez. And the other thing about, Mike Perry's a complete savage.
Yeah.
Eddie Alvarez, stylistically, he doesn't lose these type of fights. When it's a phone booth fight, he doesn't lose those. Look at his resume. This, by far, Perry's toughest fight. Now, what Eddie did with Chad Mendez, different type of fight.
Mm-hmm.
But for Eddie, this is right up his alley, man. I'm excited for this fight.
yeah, it'll be fun. The Todd Duffy, Ben Rothwell, because
Bare knuckle? Jeez.
well, yeah, you fought Ben, but Todd Duffy as
Oh,
well
yeah.
too.
He's
So,
a
yeah.
training partner for a long time. Freak. Complete freak.
Freak athlete.
Dude, and bare knuckle? What? But bare knuckle, there's not a man walking this planet as tough as Ben Rothwell. Like, bare knuckle's about toughness.
Mm-hmm.
Is Luke Rockhold a more skilled fighter than Mike Perry? Absolutely. And bare knuckle, though, he broke his teeth.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. So, is Todd Duffy a better skilled fighter than Ben Rothwell? 100%. But bare knuckle, it's just a different animal. That's why Mike Perry's the face of it. Is Mike Perry more skilled fighter than Michael Venom Page? Absolutely not. In bare knuckle, he absolutely is. He's just tough. He's just tougher. Ben Rothwell is just tougher than all these guys. It's a special type of person to do bare knuckle. So we'll see. But Todd Duffy with bare knuckles, good luck eating that fucking right hand or left hand. He can do both.
And he looks in great shape now too. The most recent pictures. Well, he's always been in great shape. So there was this thing that Nate Diaz posted not that long ago.
You guys fell for it. I didn't.
I just sent it to the group. That was it. But he said, I mean, it looks dope here. Rematch. It looks legit. Breaking news: rematch Paul versus Diaz.
Well, it looks legit because they fought Chin. So he just put Paul versus Diaz and then put a 2 on
December 15th.
It looks legit to me though. Yeah, because they fought before. So it's the same picture as when they fought. He just put a 2 on the end, and you think it's legit.
And they changed the date, December 15th.
Yeah,
live
pretty
globally.
easy. Jake Paul Cannon said it's not happening.
So this is
they
from
both agreed to fight in
MVP,
MMA match.
Most Valuable Promotions. They said that they won't be fighting, and Nate Diaz was offered a MMA fight in PFL against Jake, and Jake said yes, but nothing from Nate.
Nate's not going to fight in PFL.
I know he talks so much crap about that. All right, Dillon Danis is officially free agent, released from Bellator, and then I saw a post that says right here. This is from MMA Junkie. Like
this is Dillon saying, "I want UFC or I'm going to retire."
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
He's like, let's make a lot of money, Dana. Like he actually tagged Dana in a post.
So my first instinct, and then Dillon also put Dana, let's make a lot of money.
Yeah.
At UFC at Dana White, right?
At Dana White, yeah.
So my first instinct was like, there's no way the UFC signs him, right? With a striking, can't have just jiu-jitsu guy. But then if you go back, like the UFC's history, they signed. Now these guys are completely different as far as credentials, and one guy's actually undefeated in mixed martial arts because he's he is world class when it comes to jiu-jitsu, talking about Dillon Danis. But if the goal of the UFC is money, they're valid in some areas as far as fighting, obviously, but they'll do these circus acts. Don't get it twisted. They would sign Logan Paul in a heartbeat. They'd sign Jake Paul if they could. Those guys aren't interested in the UFC right now, right? And Danny even said never say never when it came to Logan. But they did the CM Punk fight. Now, do you think that was because they thought he could become a world champion? No. They did it because they knew it would bring eyeballs. Well, who can bring more eyeballs than CM Punk is Dillon Danis. And he also is a world-class jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's also undefeated in mixed martial arts. He also fought in Bellator twice, and he's 2-0. So the argument there, if you want to say, look at what he did in a box match against Logan Paul, that actually has nothing to do with it. As far as credentialed mixed martial artists, Dillon Danis is more qualified than a lot of guys the UFC brings on board to sell tickets. So it's not far-fetched for the UFC to at least entertain it.
Yeah.
I could see him doing it.
I would like to see him in it, in the UFC.
Oh, if I'm the UFC, I'd do it.
Mm-hmm.
You put Dillon Danis on one of those main cards, but if you put him as the main event on Fight Night, it's going to be your most watched event of the year. You put him as a co-main event or even as the first fight on a main card on a pay-per-view, probably your most watched pay-per-view. That's just where he's at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also remember seeing something about where this is before Bellator was going away. Like for Dillon to even get that boxing match with Logan Paul, he had to pay a ton of money to Scott Coker or Bellator because he's still under contract. Mm-hmm. I forgot about that. Yeah. He was under contract.
They released
so they had to give a bunch of money just to do that fight. So back to Khamzat. Apparently in 2021, remember when I guess he got COVID and then he
got really sick.
He said he was going to retire or something like that. And then I think Rogan said like he's just training with COVID, so he's just made it worse and worse. He just revealed recently on the Nelk Boys podcast that one of the doctors he went to, because he was coughing up blood, he said that he actually had cancer. So he thought he had cancer. He had to go to another doctor to get the other diagnosis. But
is it one of those doctors in the Middle East?
Must be,
God,
dude.
Dog.
So that's why he retired or kind of got
Hell
close to retiring. But then, he got the second diagnosis and he didn't have cancer. But that's crazy.
Cancer misdiagnosis led to brief 2021 retirement. It's in your head.
Yeah, he just said it was in his like.
That time was hard, man. It's not the same, man. That one time I said the doctor said to me coming down that you have cancer. That's why I said I was retired. I didn't know what to say to my family. I didn't know what to say to people. Then we check again. The other doctor said, "No, you don't have cancer, dumbass." But I threw that in there. But that's what I would, if I was the doctor, like, you don't have cancer, dumbass. But I'm still coughing up blood. Still, if a doctor said something to you, it's in your head. You still go home, you're coughing up blood, and it's crap like that. I'm finished, man. Yeah, if someone tells you have cancer, like, especially
my God,
credentialed doctor.
Dude, that would be freaking devastating. Yeah, couldn't imagine. But thankfully he doesn't.
Yeah, thank God.
Here are some bout announcements. Cody Garbrandt, your boy, versus Brian Keller, your boy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, UFC 296.
Love that fight. Somebody getting put to sleep.
That's
No,
a good
I'm not
fight.
picking on that one. I like both those guys.
Yeah. And also on that same card, it's not there. Giga Chikadze versus Josh Emmett.
That's a good one.
I mean, the lineup is pretty damn dope.
Oh, this card is tasty,
Yeah.
dude. That main event, you have Edwards versus Colby Covington, take my money. You have Pantasia, Brandon Royval. You have Shavkat, Wonder Boy, Tony Ferguson, Patty Pimlet, Vicente Luque, Ian Machado Gary. Then you have Giga versus Josh Emmett, Jacoby, Menafield, Cody Garbrandt, Brian Keller. Great fight.
It's a great card, yeah.
Hell yeah. Take my money.
So this is just a funny one. So during the Embedded episode, Kamaru Usman was wearing one of Francis Ngannou's like
and they blurred it out?
And they blurred it out.
God,
like that's
man.
just so lame, right?
Just so petty.
That is the pettiest.
Just so
like,
petty. After, Francis, he was your champ, man.
Yeah.
They can't, you blur out, and it's Roots of Fight. Roots of Fight's been associated with UFC for a hot second. They've made a ton of merch for the biggest legends in the game. You got to blur out the shirt, for God's sakes.
Yeah, but he took it in stride. Like he's made fun of it kind of right here. But
That fight's Saturday, right?
Yes, the 28th. Tyson Fury.
That's this Saturday?
This Saturday.
Holy
and it's like early in the day, I think.
Yeah, because
We'll
it's in the
have
Middle
a-
East.
yeah.
Holy shnikes.
But yeah, another quick little break.
Oh, man. Let's take another little break because you guys know me. I only recommend products that I actually use, like Shopify, like Black Buffalo, Rain Energy, whatever it is, your boy actually uses it. I reached out to these guys to be part of the show because I swear by them. If you see me do any shows, stand-up, podcasts, I'm in the gym, your boy's on that Happy Hippo. Happy Hippo helps you get stuff done. The Kratom game can be the Wild West, but I only trust Happy Hippo. However you want your Kratom, whether it's gummies, taffy, powders, pills, they got K-dips, it's kind of like in the pouch form. They got the energy shots. They got the highly concentrated energy shots. They have the regular highly concentrated without the energy. It's the only Kratom that I trust. It's Happy Hippo. Go to happyhippo.com. Promo code is THICC23. That's THICCC 23 for 20% off for life, for the best brain booster on the planet. All right? We're talking about that Kratom from Happy Hippo. It's happyhippo.com. Promo code THICC23.
Alrighty.
Damn, I can't believe Francis Fury is this Saturday.
Yeah. And speaking of Francis and Fury, I thought this was pretty interesting. They made this this display in London, but so this is Tyson Fury. They didn't like make his body even, just a little bit slimmer. They made it look just like his body.
Oh, you mean they made it look like him? What do you want him to do?
You
want him to do like they did back in the day during the
They used to always make
Roman
the bodies
times.
a little bit more leaner,
Like
a
the
little
old
bit more,
school
yeah.
gladiator where they're just Shredville. No,
Yeah,
dude,
nah.
that's his body. That's him to AT. That's actually the best
I
statue
know.
I've ever seen.
It's really good. It's really good. It's so exact.
Because even back in the days, like the King Tut days, like all that, they used to be super out of shape, and they made them jacked.
Yeah.
And even back with the old school, when we're talking about back in the ancient Rome times, they made them jacked with little wieners. Apparently, having a big wiener was frowned upon. Guess I'm not cool back in the day.
Whatever, dude.
Am I right? Make fun of me, fellas. I'm sorry I got a tail,
Mm-hmm.
It's just the laughing joke of the town. Whatever. They made Francis. This is the best statue. They made Francis, and they made Tyson.
Yeah.
You
They
can't have
actually
a
did a
Jack
really good
Tyson.
job.
They did a phenomenal job.
Mm-hmm.
That's so dope. If I'm Francis, I'm like, can I have that because you're not going to leave that up there.
No, and they're big too.
Hell yeah, but can I put that in my house? I don't want the giant crown. That's weird. I guess you could put it in the back. Make a hot tub out of it. Yeah, they gave Fury love handles, just the titties.
Yeah.
That's
They did good.
whoever did that deserves a goddamn promotion. That is the best statue spot on I've ever seen.
All right, so this is a little inaccurate, but so the post is from Combat Talk. It says fighters with the names ending in OV or EV went 7-0, and then but Ankalaev didn't win. It was just a no contest, but yeah, they went 7-0.
No, the best base is not having a mustache.
Yeah, only one guy here has a mustache, but everyone else looks exactly
The best base is having a beard.
a beard. Yeah,
Kimbo had a beard. Dagestains have a beard.
yeah.
It's also obviously these guys don't get it twisted too. Every single guy you see on there, all these fights were in the Middle East. They're all huge favorites for a reason. So it's not like, oh, just check it out, man. These guys had a great night. They were supposed to have a great night.
Yeah.
It's not. Now, if they were all underdogs and they all had beards, then you'd be like, damn, there's something to it. Oh, all the favorites won? Crazy. In their own backyard? Weird. Oh, you mean the guy from Chechnya and the guy from Dagestan won because they fought two guys on a 10-day notice that aren't in their weight class? Crazy. I'm going to grow my beard out. Dumbasses.
Dumbass.
What's this, Chin?
So that's it. Here are the fights. It's basically just the card for Tyson Fury.
Ooh, bunch of thick boys. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 heavyweight fights and then a light middleweight. Kick rocks, light middleweight. We're just big boys. This is first team all thick. That is October 28th. That's this freaking Saturday. It goes down, start time 1 p.m. Eastern. So that will be, what's that, is that 10 a.m. here? Yeah, it's 10 a.m. here if 1 Eastern. Yep. But if you really, the fights don't really start popping to Joseph Parker, who we love Joseph Parker.
Yeah.
First guest ever on Food Truck. And I tried to get him to eat fish in Vegas.
And then you got
Live
sick or
fish.
something, right?
He was worried about getting sick.
Oh,
he was
worried about getting
He was down to eat the eyeballs. I was not. He was down to eat it, and then his coach went, "Let's probably not do this before the biggest fight of his life." I went, "You know what? You're probably right on this, because we got this fish in Vegas, which is landlocked, and it was a raw fish for him." But Joseph Parker's fighting. That's my brother from New Zealand mother. But obviously the main event, you have freaking Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou. If you're one of those people that are like, Tyson Fury's just going to outclass him, this is stupid, I'm not going to pay for this, I get all that. But the one thing that makes this different than a Conor versus Floyd, a Logan Paul versus Floyd, is Francis Ngannou. If Tyson Fury, for whatever reason, decides to take his eye off the prize, if he takes 1 nanosecond off in that fight, and Francis happens to land a left hook, an uppercut, a right hand, whatever it is, that fight is over. That's why you're paying for this fight. Is he going to outbox Tyson Fury? Not a chance. But is there a possibility at a plus 700 he can land an uppercut, a left hook, a right hand in a frenzy? There's a chance. And I want to be part of that. I'm going to be watching it. Francis is that damn talented. He can hit. If I'm his coach, I'm going, caution the wind. We're not training any technique. You're going to freaking Homer Simpson this thing. Run at him like you did against Rosenstruck. Do that. We're not going to try and be cute and sit back and pick this dude. Forget your jab. Forget what we're doing on the pads. This is a street fight. If you sit back and you try to outbox Tyson Fury, he's going to change your life. And it's not going to be good. If this thing goes the distance, you will never fight the same ever again. He's going to box your brains in. We don't want that. Go out on your shield. In order to win, Francis has to get this done with pure chaos in 2 rounds. If this thing goes past 2 rounds, it's going to get dicey and it's going to get ugly. Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight to ever put on those 10-ounce gloves. I'll take all your debates. Who you want? Evander, bring it. Tyson, bring it. Who else you got? Bring it. Lennox Lewis, George Foreman, whatever. He's the best to ever do it. He can go forwards, he can go backwards, he can power shot, he can outclass you, he can do it all. We've never had anybody like that. Francis Ngannou's team knows this. He has to caution the wind, make it a straight up after school fight. That's what he has to do. That doesn't need to get dirty. None of those antics. None the grappling. You're not grappling anyway. No. You just got to land one shot, and you got to do it in the first 2 rounds. Otherwise, your life is going to change forever.
That's scary.
That's how hard he hits. Though. That's how hard Francis hits, and I'll take that. I'll take that. All right, is that it?
Almost. Real quick though, would you, if you were Francis, would you go out literally right away, or just kind of feel out first and then go crazy?
I'm literally ding ding. How much did I make? Now, but if one of those lands, we're going so sizzler. We're changing the game for it. It's the biggest upset in sports combat history. You're going so sizzler. And you get the rematch no matter what. The only guy that loses if Fury gets knocked out is a man named Usyk. Because then you got to fight him, and he just got knocked out. And it's going to be a disaster. That fight goes to the garbage. Dude, if Francis wins, biggest upset in combat sports history. Yeah. A guy who's never boxed professionally knocks out the perennial, best, undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? What? And he has the power to do it. Take my money. I am in no shape or form working with, I don't know who's even putting the fight on. That should sell you the fight.
Alrighty. Well, it's $79.99 according to this article.
Okay, maybe not.
ESPN Plus. Yeah.
$79.99. God.
I know that's so expensive, dude. Couple fan questions. You cool?
I think we're good. All right. All right, kids. I'm in Seneca. That's right. I'm basically Buffalo. Niagara Falls, 2 shows, almost sold out. 1 show Friday. That's at Seneca Casino in Niagara Falls, New York. Right outside Buffalo. Buffalo, show some freaking respect. I played 3 minutes for your team. Buffalo, New York. That's Niagara Falls, New York, November 3rd and 4th. 1 show Friday, 1 show Saturday. Those bad boys are almost sold out. Get tickets right now. Then Chicago, December 8th through the 9th. That's 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. And then just announced, I think I announced on Rogan's show, Nashville. I'm at Zany's one night only, January 25th. That's 1 show right now only. We will add shows if we have to, but that's Nashville, Tennessee, January 25th. That will sell out. If we want to add shows, you better get on there now. That's Nashville, Tennessee, Zany's. That's January 25th. Then I'm in right after January 26th and January 27th, Friday, Saturday. I'm in Austin, Texas. That is January 26th and 27th. Get tickets right now at thickboy.com. But Buffalo, New York, Niagara Falls, you're up first, November 3rd and 4th. Then Chicago, Nashville, Austin, get you some. For the car content, my TRX is almost done. We'll be launching Toontown for you guys. It's a car show. I'm modding crazy vehicles. I'm going to mod your vehicles, my friends' vehicles, celebrities, comics, athletes. It's going to be dope. We're going to be doing some crazy stuff on there. My car is going from 702 horsepower. Right now we're about 1,100 at the crank, but we're adding on to that. And I have one thing to do with Kibby Tech on Wednesday, and then the first episode will be out. But stay tuned for that. I'll be making some announcements on that front, but it's going to be fun. All right, guys. All right, kids. Love you at Niagara Falls. See you November 3rd and 4th. Be nice to each other. Have fun. I'm out.